Happy spring, everybody. Wait. Spring? Boom. From the future. Okay, that was a really stupid intro. I'm sorry. I thought it would be way more awesome, but I'm just gonna leave it. We have amethyst here. I was gonna do a whole bit that like, oh, I'm from the future and I'm giving you this reading from spring 2025 to tell you everything that's about to happen over the next 6 months. But instead, let's just get to the reading. All right. The next 6 months. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna get 6 cards for the next 6 months, one for each month, and then we'll look deeper into the messages. All right. For some reason this sort of a reading takes like a lot out of me, just because I feel like there's so many side quests, like there's so many roads. Imagine like you're standing right here and you have literally 1,000 roads of possibilities. So this is a general tarot reading, everybody. This is a collective from now all the way through spring of 2025. All right, let's do it. Also, I did these nails just for this reading, and I took the time to put each and every little gem on here. And I do stuff like that as a practice, like to prepare myself for the reading. You know what I'm saying? So, all right, let's get 6 cards. November, December of 2024, January of 2025, February, March, and April. And we have the Magician at the bottom of the deck. Why do I just feel like this reading sucks right now? I feel like that's part of the energy. I feel like, because with the Magician, it is a card of manifestation. And the Magician, he literally has every tool at his disposal. Like, he's like a jack of all trades. So he can go into different environments. See the 4 gems? He has the 4 elements at his disposal here. So I feel like, because I had the 7 of Swords at the bottom of the deck before I cut the deck, and I didn't say anything about it, because I feel like what that 7 of Swords is your own mind, like that you are your own worst enemy. It's just this feeling that we have to work through. For some, over the next 6 months, it's going to be working through imposter syndrome. Like you're already working on something, like I am here with this show, and you might have feelings come up like, is this really good? Does this suck, basically? You know, you might feel like you're not good at what you're born to do. And I'm hearing that that's a test from the universe. It's a test to see, well, what I'm actually seeing is it's a weight test. And this is what I mean. It's like they are placing this pressure upon you here. They're placing the pressure. Now let's just take this show for example, because I know how to talk about this, but place whatever your thing is into the slot. Like with this show, for example, the more people that watch, the more likely it is that I'm going to get really mean comments, right? Let's just take that as an example. Pressure being pushed down onto something that gives me joy, to do these readings, to do this show, to run this YouTube channel, this podcast. I enjoy it, but with the manifestation, comes pressure. And so there's also going to be other factors for you that will come into play, and it places pressure on you. So what I'm seeing from that this is the part of it that's the test from the universe. Can you withstand the pressure? Once they see that you can, they're going to add more. So, and that's what I'm seeing, because a lot of us here are manifesting really big things over the next 6 months. Some of us might even have plans here that with the Two of Wands, plans to do new things that we've never done before with the Page of Wands. For some of us, that might even include love. You know, things that maybe we thought that we weren't ready for something, or a certain endeavor. Maybe we didn't know if we were capable of something, but you're more than capable of something. And I'm feeling that there's this energy of having to push through no matter what over the next 6 months when it comes to whatever your manifestations are. So far what I'm seeing is that over the next 6 months, the main topic has to do with manifestation. It has to do with the things that we are attempting to bring down from the 5D into the 3D, the things that are only in our heads or in our hearts that we are attempting to bring out into the physical world. All right. So let's start over here with the rest of this year, 2024. Let's look at November of 2024. Card number 1 is the Page of Pentacles. Interesting. The Page of Pentacles is a card of learning new things. It's a card of having that lust for life, that even if you are an expert in a particular field, even if you are well established in something, in a certain skill, and you've manifested a lot with it before, November would be the time to brush up on those skills, to learn new things, to not take yourself so seriously, to not take life so seriously. All right, that's what I'm getting for November. December of 2024, card number 2 is the Knight of Swords. What I'm hearing is you are going to be almost immediately challenged on the new endeavors that you began in November. So, say you're spending your November reading books, maybe you're taking a new course, or maybe it's more just like a hobby, like maybe you're just looking into astrology, or you're learning about a certain deity. Maybe you're even looking into universal laws, like the law of detachment, the law of attraction. I'm seeing people reading these different books, listening to audiobooks. I'm seeing other people like studying music. I'm seeing like notes, whatever your thing is. And if you don't have a thing, this is another note that I'm getting. Speaking of notes, if you don't have like a thing that you are passionate about, find one. Because for some here, you might be feeling kind of in like a state of boredom. You might be feeling stuck. You might feel kind of like every day feels the same, or you've hit a plateau. The Two of Wands can feel like that because he's stuck on the balcony. He has the whole world in his hands, just like this young guy here has a pentacle in his hand. He has the world and he has the pentacle. And for the Page of Pentacles, learning, he's the student of the tarot. So learning new things is like the joy of his life, no matter how old he gets. This page could actually be 84 years old, but he's showing up as a page because it's like the type of person that is established in a particular field. They're like a professor. They travel around and speak about certain things. They have books, whatever, but they have this energy. because they're wise. And they always look at life like there's more to learn. A student of life is the Page of Pentacles. So what I'm seeing is, if you don't have something like that, to pick up a new skill, a new hobby, a new interest, whatever that may be. Maybe it's the wands, like maybe it's something more like as I'm talking about this, I just feel so deflated. Like, I feel like, what's the point? What's the point of being happy? That it's coming off of this card, and I think that that's what that Seven of Swords magician energy is when we've been through a lot of stuff, and I talk about a lot of heavy stuff on this channel because I've been through a lot of really hard things, and a lot of us here have as well. Sometimes we don't even realize that we've like lost our zest for life. We might be just kind of like getting by, doing our thing, our daily routines, but on the inside, when we actually look at that with the Page of Swords, it's like inside there's a part of us that died, because we've had to go through so much. We've had to be so strong and patient. I'm seeing somebody with like the weight of the world on their shoulders, and they're just trying to get to the next day. They're just trying to get that next paycheck. I'm actually having a hard time talking right now even. And it could have something to do with, this is a side message for somebody. We have the King and the Queen of Wands. They're looking away from each other, number one. And number two, we have the Two of Pentacles right between them, which is an energy of like, you know how people say when they're doing their wedding vows, the two will become one. This is like the one will become two. Like you could be in a separation, or maybe you just had a breakup, or maybe you feel like you're in some sort of a like loveless marriage. Or now for those of you that are feeling that way, we have this King of Cups here with the Ten of Cups. So for some of you over the next 6 months, it's not guaranteed, but it's here. Part of your manifestation might not have anything to do with like career or endeavors or anything like that. For you, it might be love. And if you're in a situation where you feel like somebody's looking away from you, whatever the gender is, doesn't matter. We have somebody here, and maybe this is even you, that you're manifesting happiness, like a family. It doesn't even have to be kids. It can be like pets. Everybody, there's lots of lifestyles to live, right? You might want to adopt. There's lots of ways to live our lives and be happy with the Ten of Cups. So that's a side message for somebody. If you're unhappy in something, especially if one of these people like juggled you, put you in a third party, that's another way that this could be viewed. Maybe somebody was put into a third party here for a small, maybe even just for one person. I'm going to say, if you're this feminine here, for a small group of you, you might have found out that your partner is actually interested in the same sex here. And there could have been a separation of a family. I don't know how many people that could be for, but we have the moon popping out. So this was something that was hidden, and you would already know about this. You'd have signs. It wouldn't just be like, wow, I heard a tarot reading, and I mean, maybe, but I doubt it. All right, so let's pass that by. For some, I'm seeing you like turn over in bed, and you see your male partner on their like phone or their tablet or something, and it's like corn with two men. And for some of you, I'm seeing even further down the timeline, you've talked about this with your partner. You were very caring with your partner. You were open with your partner. You're like, you were a Queen of Wands. Even if you're a man here and it's the roles are reversed, it doesn't matter. I'm seeing you as this Queen of Wands here that was like, you were even open to like trying different stuff in the bedroom, being open with your partner, saying things like, you know what, it hurt me to find out this way that you're like bisexual or whatever, but I love you and I want to make this work with that 10 of Cups, is what I'm seeing. So for some here with the 6 of Wands, that is a victory. And I'm not going to get any deeper into that, because for some reason I just feel like that's private. But, all right. Now let's get back to the actual spread. See how all of that came out just in November and December? So the end of 2024, there's a lot of stuff coming through. And for others of you, it might not be that you find out some like secret about your partner. It might even be that you find out a secret about yourself. I'm not saying it's that you're bi, maybe. But it also might be something like, wait, I'm not satisfied in this relationship. And if you've talked to your partner about this, if you have been open and honest, and because I'm seeing for somebody here, you've had conversations with your partner time after time, because I'm seeing you looking out the same window. And outside of this window, there's a tree. And I'm seeing the tree change seasons. I'm seeing it with full leaves. I'm seeing, summertime leaves. I'm seeing the leaves shrivel up and die in the autumn. I'm seeing the tree bare in the winter. And I'm seeing the tree with buds on it in the springtime, which could be this reading, because we're going from autumn to spring in this reading. It can be that you gave this person a long time as well. Not just 6 months, but like I'm hearing 6 years for some. You've been patient with somebody, and this other person just keeps saying like, I'm going to change. For some of you, this person has trigger warning, some sort of a like drug issue, honk honk. For others of you, it's like a corn addiction, and you've walked in on this person multiple times. For some of you, it's like, it's just something, whatever it is for this group here, even if you don't identify with any of the stuff that I said about like sexuality, there's something here that's caused a divide and a separation between two people. And for some, there's opportunity for this to be transformed. For others of you, it's just going to be the same old stuff again and again. So obviously, I'm just a clown on YouTube. That's up to you and your life, what you want to do with this information. But maybe some of you just need it to be validated and seen, because this is a high vibration with the Lovers, and this is what you put on offer with this person. And I'm seeing for some of you, they literally turned that down for a third party. And for some, the third party doesn't have to be a person. It could be, where's my Queen of Wands? Queen of Wands is sexy, gorgeous. It could even be that this is corn, right? It doesn't even have to be like a real person in the 3D. It could be like a fantasy that this person has. Or maybe this person just is a fantasist. Or they're like a future faker where they say, I want to have a family, like I want all these things, I want to have the vacation house, but then you're the one paying all the bills, or you're the one who's always like trying to talk about like the next step in the relationship, whatever that is for you. And this person's just like, no, basically, with their actions. They're not saying no, they're saying all the right things. They're saying yes this and yes that. For some of you, this is literally a situationship, and you've been with this person for like 8 months, I'm getting, and they just have no interest in making it like official, but you have this whole dream that you want to have a family and stuff. I don't know, guys. If this is what you want, the Lovers and the 10 of Cups, and at the very beginning stages, somebody is already showing like 25 red flags. And for some of you, this person, I'm seeing them snorting something. If that's not the sort of life you want, it's my belief that people show you who they are in many different ways. And the reason why we stay with people when it's like there's contractual disagreements, the reason why we stay with people is because maybe we're the ones who are the fantasists. And hi, I'm a recovering one. I get it. Where I've wanted to see people as what I wished that they would be. And then when they weren't that person, I broke my own heart again and again and again and again. And really, that's an us problem if we really think about it, because to try to change somebody, even if we do get them to do what we want them to do, it's like, how unhappy is that kid gonna be with like a father or a mother that didn't really want them and kind of only did it so the relationship wouldn't break up, So that's a hard message. And if none of that if you don't identify with any of that, then I'm hearing from spirit. Wow, my throat's closing off. Yeah, this is a hard topic for some here. So let's just gather around. Let's do the old group hug, everybody, down in the comments. We love you guys. It's gonna be all right. Because some of you don't even have like people you can go to. Some of you are in like divorce proceedings, or you're separated from somebody. There's a lot of like relationship drama happening over the next couple months for people here. Or this is even a past timeline and it's just swirling in your head come this December. Because for those of you that celebrate Christmas or, whatever you celebrate around that time, you could be thinking about the fact like, oh, I don't have like a family to share it with. This could be something from the past that just comes up and it's like an old wound or something. So back to the original topic with the magician, right? For some of you, you really, really dodged a bullet with somebody here because I didn't mean for that to happen, but the magician ended up in the reverse on my table. For some of you, this person was manipulative. And they kind of were like, because I'm seeing one of those long Pinocchio noses. For some of you, this person was actually a liar, right? You don't want to be with a liar or a manipulator. And I'm not saying there's some sort of like sorcerer black magician that uses black magic. But even if they don't know what they're doing, that's what's happening. This is my opinion, trigger warning, honk honk, but I believe that ABUSE is a form of black magic. We just don't call it that, right? And then if there's also like drugs involved, if there's also like third parties and there's drinking and there's corn and there's friends that are around this person that are a terrible influence. And why do you want to be involved with that? And I'm not judging you. I'm saying like out into the air for me as well. We don't want that. That's not what we want. Whatever your idea for your future is, and this is just a small snippet, this is 6 months. If over the next 6 months, whatever is going on over here is not good enough for you, then why continue for another 6 months with it? And for some, it's because you're in a contract with this person. And by contract, I mean it spiritually, like a soul contract. But I also mean it logically. This could be like you're on the lease with this person, or you have a mortgage with this person, or you have some sort of like contract with this person in the 3D reality. This could even be work for some of you. This could be a boss. This could be like a contract, like, oh, I'm contracted to this company for the next 6 months and I have to continue giving the rights over to all my stuff to a person that I no longer agree with. So that's for somebody. I'm just going to leave that there. But let's get back to this. So we have November and we have December. What I'm seeing here is instead of putting all your eggs into this one basket over here, for a lot of us as empaths, we do this. We put our heart and our soul into our relationship. I'm not saying that's not a beautiful thing, that you want to like live the dream with somebody, but we also want to be realists, not fantasists with the 10 of Cups in the reverse. Because we can actually have the 10 of Cups, whatever that means. Because for somebody, the 10 of Cups could be, a male and a female with 2 children. For others, it's 2 men. For others, it's 2 women. For others, one person is trans or they're going through a transition, and the other person, do you know what I'm saying? For another person, it's like the 10 of Cups is traveling around in an RV with your partner. And, for others, it's buying a plot of land and having that like farm that you always wanted. Whatever. It's different for everybody. All I know is that if you're feeling in a situation that you feel juggled with the 2 of Pentacles, where did that go? That's an important aspect of this. It doesn't have to be cheating, guys. It doesn't have to be anything extreme. It could just be emotional. You feel like you're split from your own self even with another person. And we're going to move forward, guys, because I know for some of you, you're like, this doesn't apply to me. Because for some of you, it doesn't. But for others, it's more metaphorical, where it's like, maybe we're talking about a relationship with yourself, where you feel fragmented from your own self. And over the next 6 months, you want to get to know yourself again. You want to learn who you are now as you go into 2025 so that you can be a new person. The Page of Pentacles is new. It's all new. It's new people. It's new energy. It's new information. It's a new lease on life if we let it be. 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 But we have to let it be, right? And for some, we just have to let bygones be bygones, let it be. And just let the karma play out. Like if you have anger against a certain person or a situation from this past year or even further back, just let it be. Because karma is much more powerful than you and me. It's a force that involves somebody else's fate. And really, at the end of the day, that doesn't even have anything to do with us. Those are their lessons they have to learn. It's not even personal to us a lot of the time. Some of you are going to see this person with another person, and they're going to ABUSE this other person. And there's going to be a side of you that's like, oh my God, I dodged a bullet. I thought that this person just hated me and just that our personalities clashed. But come to find, this person's manipulative in every relationship they have. This person's own mother is scared of them, I'm hearing. So I'm going to move on from that. All right? So, because we have a lot of people that are dealing with hard relationship stuff. And for some of you, it's not even a romantic thing. It's a family member. Or it's like a boss, like I was saying. So apply the info where it needs to go. Again, this is a general tarot reading. And I love you guys, all right? It's going to be okay. It doesn't matter at the end of the day what a tarot reading says. It matters what you know inside, right? So, with the Magician, over the next 6 months, we have the opportunity to change our lives. That's what I'm getting. And for some, it's as simple as writing some things down that you want. Like and I did this. I already did this for myself. I actually did this reading for myself. And I was like, I got to bring this to the collective because I wrote down some plans for my next 6 months, some things that I want to manifest. So I think it's really fascinating, actually, that we have this magician here to kind of bring that idea forward to the collective. Yeah, just take a little time, think about what you want over the next 6 months from now all the way to spring 2025. You can do a lot of damage in 6 months. You want to lose weight in 6 months, you can lose weight. You want to gain muscle, whatever. Those are practical Pentacles things. You want to make more money, you want to start a business, you can learn with the Page of Pentacles. You can learn anything. You can take a class, you can watch YouTube videos, whatever. Even if it's just like you're interested in a certain topic and you want to learn about that. Again, it could just be you want to get to know yourself again after dealing with something challenging, or you might have just felt like you lost yourself, like you were split in two with the Two of Pentacles, and now you're looking for your heart again. And for some of you, when you find your heart again, you will be walking down this road with the Lovers, and you'll meet another person that's on that same journey, and they'll be a much better fit for you than this other past person was. It's looking like December is going to be a time of movement as well with the Knight of Swords. And, this is the hustle and bustle of the holidays, right? This is normal, everybody's racing around, buying presents, baking things for their kids' class, whatever. The holiday season, it kind of makes you wonder, are we having fun yet? Sort of a thing sometimes, right? So what I'm hearing for advice off of the Knight of Swords, see, I said Nine of Swords by mistake. And the Nine of Swords was at the bottom of the deck before I started this reading. Instead of letting the holidays make us anxious or feel lonely, like, oh, I wish I had a partner. I wish I had a family that actually loved me and wasn't always arguing around the holidays about all this crap. What I'm hearing off of this Knight of Swords is, while everybody else is rushing around like this, you can be focusing on the coming year and think about what you really want out of this next year of 2025, right? Because, it's nice to buy people presents and everything. It's nice to receive gifts. But at the end of the day, nobody can give you the gift that you're really looking for, which is to live the life that you deserve, right? You could have all the money in the world, but you can't buy contentment. That's what I was getting off of this Knight of Swords. And we're going to move on, guys. Thank you for being patient. Because I feel like some of you are like, come on. Which could be part of this Knight of Swords energy, where it's like some of us do struggle with, honk, honk, I'm not a doctor. Some of us do struggle with anxiety, and we do struggle with feeling like we can't settle down. It's hard to settle down, and it's hard to even focus long enough. That could be ADHD. I'm not a doctor. My brother has ADHD. To be honest, I probably do as well. I've never been diagnosed, but yeah. There's something neurospicy going on here. I know that. Regardless. You could just feel really anxious around this time. So there's a need to ground. And this is not a negative omen for December, guys. I'm just saying, this is just the state of the world. I don't need cards to show this. You know what I'm talking about. Try going to Target on December 22nd. You know what I'm saying? Good luck. That's just this time of year. But I'm seeing, like, if we start kind of back in November with this grounding, I'm seeing this another way too. This can be a card of grounding. We have this amethyst here. Just kind of getting ourselves into a good mindset to kind of start our New Year's resolutions way early, so that by the time everybody's running around like a chicken with their head cut off trying to plan Christmas dinner or whatever everybody's doing, it's different for everybody. You can be the grounded one. You could be focused on your own affairs. And I was going to say thank you to everybody who commented on my last video, because I asked about everybody's beliefs and what everybody, what your spiritual beliefs are. And I loved reading through all your comments, guys. I really appreciate you sharing with everybody. So yeah, I just want to make sure everybody's included because my desire is to have a motley crew. I want all different sorts of people, in the room. All different socioeconomic backgrounds, races, beliefs. That's just who I am as a person, right? So let's move forward here. Now let's get into 2025. I thought I was going to need clarifiers, but there's so much coming through that I'm almost wondering if I'm going to need them because we still have 4 more months left here to go. Some of us might be standing. I'm seeing you with your toes standing over the tip of a cliff. It kind of looks like the Fool card energy, and you're like, "Oh, here we go." It's kind of like going on the roller coaster. It's like you're coming up here, you're up at the top, and you're like, "Ah, ah, ah," and you start going down the hill. So to avoid that feeling, again, we can start back really now. We're going to be moving into November soon. We just got to get back in touch with who we really are. For some of us, it even could involve nature, like how he's standing on the grass, grounding. And, if you feel like you can't go outside for whatever reason or you don't have time or whatever, I've found crystals to literally change my mood. And I didn't believe in this stuff before, guys. I really didn't. I'm going to be honest with you. I always loved crystals. I always loved going into the crystal shops and stuff through the years, but I didn't know. I thought people were kind of just... It was like a placebo effect. Like I kind of thought that people just believed that crystals had these benefits because, well, first of all, I thought it was like a money-making machine, number one, and then it was kind of fake. And number two, I kind of thought like, oh, people just want to believe what they want to believe. But once I actually started to hold them in my hands, especially during meditation, yeah, I felt extreme changes. Especially with more powerful ones like Moldavite. Yeah, get ready. My whole life changed when I got myself some Moldavite. All right, so let's look at January of 2025, card number 3. We have the 6 of Cups. Is there a Mercury retrograde? I'm not feeling a bad energy off of this, though. You might start thinking about the past. Maybe you'll look through old pictures. This is something that I like to do when I'm trying to get into my goal mode, like when I want to set goals over the next 6 months. Sometimes I'll just look through my camera roll in my phone to kind of think back over I know this sounds kind of weird, but kind of remember who I am again. Because sometimes we can kind of live outside of our bodies if we're not careful in today's modern society. And then we kind of live outside of ourselves with this phone apparatus where it's like we're projecting our consciousness into this other thing that's outside of us. So it creates this kind of divide. I'm seeing that 2 of Pentacles again. That seems very relevant, this reading. There's something about bringing ourselves back together and back to oneness, coming together with the oneness of all things. Because once we are grounded, nothing can get us off of our feet. It doesn't matter what crazy stuff happens in the world, or who could possibly be coming back from the past with the 6 of Cups. Let me just look for a second, guys. You might meet a new person. For those of you who are looking for love, you might meet a new person in January of 2025. For some of you, I'm hearing it's a little bit further out, but you might start feeling this person's energy. It's a very sweet energy. See how he's giving her the white flower and she's just like, oh, thank you. There's some sort of sweet, sort of innocent love that even if you don't want to admit it to yourself, that's including me, that you wish that you could have, kind of like those summer coming of age movies, you know. There's something like that here. Anything else on the Six of Cups before I move on to February? Because February is Valentine's Day, so we'll see. What is the Six of Cups? When I said what is the Six of Cups, I heard, you'll see. All right, so maybe there's a bit of a surprise there. I feel like some of you are gonna be surprised because some of you have kind of like, I don't want to say you've given up on love, but I feel like you've just gone through so much with so many different people for some year that it just kind of makes you, it just makes you cautious at the very least, right? I do understand that. Let's just take a moment of silence for everybody here who's just been through a lot of stuff. It makes you feel like it's hard to ground down into the present reality of life because it kind of feels like the second that you do that and you finally settle down, it's kind of like some other crazy stuff happens. And so a lot of us have learned to sleep with, to sleep with a knife sort of a thing, where it's like we're always, I'm seeing the Seven of Wands here. It's like we're always on guard, even if we're having a nice time, even if we're having a nice day and we meet a new person. Even if we're smiling, it's like on the inside, we're still kind of like, are you safe though? Like, I don't really know, like, what's going on here. I feel happy, but am I actually happy or is that my ego? Am I actually happy or is that my old patterning from the past life? Like, some of us hear what I'm getting. Some of us here actually get too much in our heads about all of that spiritual jargon. Okay, and I'm not trying to be offensive. I'm saying there is a time and a place for all of that, right? Thinking about past lives and how things connect and patterning and psychology and I'm not saying that all of that is not important. That could actually be part of what you're looking into with the Page of Pentacles. So I'm not discouraging you there, but I'm talking more about people that are already well seasoned. And sometimes, if we're not careful, I don't mean to call you out. If I'm calling you out, I'm calling me out, trust me. Sometimes we can actually use some of that like spiritual stuff to bypass the desperate longing that we have that we don't want to admit to ourselves for intimacy with another person because we don't want to get hurt again. And we're like, well, am I just repeating cycles? It's like, you know what? Maybe you are, but maybe you're not. And we kind of just have to dip in our toes and see, because this is the thing. We talk about all this stuff in the spiritual community. Oh, I don't want to repeat cycles and all that stuff. But this is the thing that they don't tell you. Is that in order to overcome a cycle and evolve past it, you actually have to keep trying out different versions of things so that you can get to the next level. You can't just mentally ascend. You have to ascend spirit, soul, and body. And how you do that is by getting in the ring, right? You have to get in the ring. You can't just read a bunch of spiritual books and listen to spiritual podcasts and watch tarot readings. And again, I'm not trying to be offensive, guys. I do all that too. I'm saying, but then it's like spirit might send you somebody who ends up, or somebody who has the potential to be like the love of your life, but you might be too scared to test that theory because of everything that's happened in the past. And maybe this person is a soulmate from the past, but maybe you haven't met them yet in this life. Like maybe you'll recognize their soul from a past life, is what I'm getting for some. And you might be mistaking that soul ping. Oh, I recognize this person. I feel good with this person. I'm happy with this person. It feels like innocent, like happy fun, like going on nice dates. They don't even want to hook up with me. We've gone on 3 dates already, sort of a thing. I'm seeing that some of you might mistake that feeling of just innocent nostalgia with a nostalgia from past partners that you've already been with in this life that have been bad for you. But really what you're recognizing is this person, you do know them, but you just haven't met them yet in this life, and you knew them from a past life. I hope that made sense. But some of us, this is what we need. We need to just not think about any of that and just like see what happens. I hope I got everybody in the mix there when I said all that, because sometimes another way this is coming through is sometimes we know too much. And it's, we know too much for our own good, and it causes anxiety with the Knight of Swords. We want to make sure that we're always grounding this information in reality, that we're not like going too far out there into the great beyond, thinking everybody's doing black magic on us. And I'm a 12th house stellium. Trust me, I've been trying to figure out who's doing magic on me since I was like 4. So I'm not saying we shouldn't look into that, trust me. But I'm saying sometimes we can dip too far to where we get lost. And the whole 6 months is going to go by and we haven't manifested anything except for watched 350 tarot readings that tell us that this asshole's still doing black magic on us. Of course he is. Of course they are. Of course she is. Of course they're doing that. But instead of focusing on that, we should be focusing on our manifestations. Right? What we give power to grows. Like what we focus on and give attention to, it grows. It's like when the sun shines on the crops of the field, it grows. So if we can, let's divert our gaze onto what we actually want, which is all the different things that we want to manifest. And that's different for everybody here. Yeah. If you want to share with the class, let us know what you want to manifest down below, and we can join with you in solidarity and send good vibes into your manifestations. If not, of course. But if you want to. All right, let's look a little further here down the timeline. We'll come back to the 6 of Cups if need be, but for some of you, I feel like this might not even be a love interest. This might just be back to that 2 of Pentacles. It's kind of like one side of yourself is offering the other side of yourself this flower. And it's kind of like they're coming together, which will bring those fragmented parts of yourself back together. Parts of yourself from the past that you thought had died. I'm getting that again. Where'd that death card go? I know we had it. Here it is. Parts of you that you can retrieve. We should do like a soul retrieval reading. I'm getting that. Let me know if you're interested in that, because I've done a lot of like soul retrieval work on my own self, but I've never taken it public before. So let me know if you guys are interested in looking into that and how to retrieve those aspects of ourselves further. That could just be a nod to that in this reading. All right, let's look at February. Card number 4, February 2025. We have the Temperance card. Beautiful. Peace. See, this is like, what did I say before about dipping your toe in? I said that at the start. I forgot why I said that. But that, whatever I said back there is probably nodding to this energy coming in February 2025. And of course, guys, this is the possibility of the energy. This isn't what's gonna happen. This is what could happen if we use our magic, right? So with this Temperance card, this is a beautiful energy. This, again, it's those two elements becoming one. I'm seeing that again with the cup pouring into the other cup. For those of you who resonated with the message of two parts of you coming together, this is like a major arcana version of that. Where it's like you're finding, there's also an element here with this angel always. This angel has the red devil wings, symbolizing that this angel understands the light and the dark. So what could be happening here is that you're starting to learn and understand more esoteric information about yourself, which is a very good thing, which is helping you to meet your shadow side with the red wings. It's the symbol of this angel has gone into the underworld and has understood the shadow side. So for some of you, there's like this deep, I'm hearing the deep past. I'm seeing you retrieving like an aspect of yourself even from a past life. Like some of you might be getting real esoteric here at the start of 2025 where you're doing like past life regression work, or maybe you're starting that all the way in November of 2024 with the Page of Pentacles, and you're kind of just, again, dipping your toe in to some of that information. And then by the time we get into 2025, it's like you're becoming more actualized. See how there's those rays coming off of his crown, the crown chakra and the third eye. It's like certain things may be revealed to you that help you to become one with your shadow, which for me has, and I'm not saying I've arrived, right? I'm saying I've worked on this for many years, and one of the biggest like thorns in the flesh for me, being raised a Christian with only one worldview, which is basically like you're born a sinner, and if you don't ask Jesus Christ into your heart, you're going to hell. Your sins won't be forgiven. You're born a sinner. That's how it is. There's no escape, blah, 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 right? So for me, a big thing, and I'm a Virgo, so I took all that stuff real hyper seriously. Like, I would read the Bible like it was a rule book, and I'd go through that thing and I'd be like, I want to make sure that I get every single thing right. I don't want to do anything wrong. I don't want to make God sad. This was like 6-year-old me thinking stuff like this. Let me know if you relate to that. Anybody here? But aside from all that, what I'm seeing here is like there's an opportunity to blend these aspects of ourselves, even from like early childhood, and like fold it in. I'm seeing like, you know, when you make like blueberry muffins, for example, I'm a baker, so I always go to baking, and I'm a Taurus moon, so when I've made blueberry muffins in the past, it's the batter, it's kind of like a thicker batter, right? So when you pour in the blueberries into the batter, if you just mix those bad boys up, the blueberries, they're all gonna get all squished. They're not gonna stay whole. So when you are mixing the blueberries, you have to fold them into the batter. There's something here about folding your shadow side in and like alchemizing. I'm also seeing with the temperance energy, I'm seeing like a science lab, and I'm seeing like pouring different chemicals into the main beaker. And it's causing this alchemization of the self that makes it easier to manifest the things you want to manifest, because it's bringing all sides of yourself into perfect alignment, so that it's like I was making the joke before, sometimes we don't even want to admit that there are certain things that we want. Like, even if we've become kind of jaded on certain things, deep down in our hearts, or we could say in our shadow side, shadow doesn't always mean bad. It just means hidden with the moon. It's the subconscious, right? It's hidden. It could even be things from when we were younger that we kind of just grew out of because we realized, oh, the world is a hard, dark place. We can't expect that life is going to be a Disney movie, which life is not a Disney movie, right? That is true. We are realists on this channel. We're not fantasists, like I said with the 10 of Cups, but at the same time, that doesn't mean that we don't get to have a Hallmark moment from time to time. That's the reason why all of these movies are written and these songs are written. It's because love does exist. It's just in the way that we incorporate it. Again, I'm seeing that folding in. So February 2025, what I'm seeing is a lot of alchemization happening. And for some, this could just be a byproduct of your manifestations coming to pass. Because the temperance energy is like mixing two things together to create a new result. And for some, this is a very deep message because it's like, it's creating a new you. You know how people are like, new year, new you, new year, new me. It's something like that. But it's specifically having to do with combining aspects of yourself that you either feel are too dark, too wounded, or too hidden, too buried in the past. I'm seeing somebody, what am I seeing? I'm seeing like a young kid making like those, they're like airplanes, and they're throwing the airplane. I'm also seeing somebody when they're grown up, they're doing these intricate, those like ships. I've seen people like, they put together these like elaborate, realistic like ships and put them into a glass container. Or somebody that creates like those elaborate Legos or some sort of like structure. My point with this analogy is, maybe when you were a kid, it started off as like paper planes. But as you grew up, if you continued with that skill, it could have evolved into, and that's why I'm saying could have, because the Six of Cups is a card of thinking back what things could have been. I could have been a famous football player if I just continued with football, or I didn't break my ankle or whatever. There's something here, though, where for the person, this analogy that I'm using that makes the paper airplanes, and then 30 years later, they're able to make those like realistic ships. It's a skill that evolves through time if you continue tinkering with it. Now, I'm very led to say, if you have a skill like that you feel was lost, it's not lost. It's just trapped in the shadow. You can pull that out again. I knew this older man who started to learn. Let me get it. I knew an older man who started to learn how to play ukulele when he was like 72 years old, and he became really good at it, right? So it's these skills that we have that they never really go away. They're just benign, and they're hidden inside the shadow, inside of those red wings. And we can pull that stuff out. Again, that soul kind of fragmentation is coming through again, so let me know if you guys are interested in a reading like that. All right, let's move forward, because I feel like what it's saying about February is that it's a time of alchemization. And for some, that just has to do with you trying different things out. You're trying things out to make a manifestation work, like whatever that means to you, because everybody is manifesting different stuff, right? It's just the principle. All right, let's do March 2025. Card number 5 is the Four of Swords. Nice and peaceful. See, for me, Temperance is a card of peace. So something that happens, which everything we just talked about, right? Something that happens in the month of February is going to cause you real world peace in March. And this is what I mean by that. The Temperance card, it's spiritual. It's the major arcana, right? All of the major arcana, they're talking about big spiritual principles and energies. Like if somebody's talking about the law of attraction, like how much could be said about that, right? We could do, a whole year worth course on my channel about manifestation, and we've only scratched the surface, right? Same with Temperance. It's like, this can be a card of peace. How do you describe peace? I mean, there are books, whole libraries full of books talking about the concept of what peace means, right? So there's something here about you're dipping your toe, or this is what's available, you're dipping your toe in February of 2025 into this concept of having peace. And part of that is being whole on the inside, starting all the way back in November of 2024, grounding ourselves, learning about ourselves, relearning, reparenting, figuring out the things we even want in life so we can manifest them, instead of just sitting in a constant perpetual state of like anxiety and not knowing what to do and not knowing how to make our lives better and living paycheck to paycheck and feeling like everything's out of our control. It's like this energy of making a conscious decision. No, this is my life. This is my reality. I'm the magician of my own reality, and I'm going to take charge of the waves and move them in the direction I want them to go. King of Cups and Two of Pentacles both have waves. And they're both cards of being able to move with the waves. But what I just said, I wouldn't normally say something like that, but that was just channeled when I said take control of the waves. And when I said that, I saw Poseidon. And I have worked with Poseidon before. I actually wrote a song where I mentioned Poseidon. I can't remember what it was. Let me look really quick. It's because I have my uke out, so now I'm like getting into the songbook. So yeah, maybe I have some other musicians and writers in the house. I actually finished this whole book, believe it or not. Let's see. While I'm looking for this, let's just ground down, just take a minute. Where is that? written so many songs. Maybe for some of you, you're going to start writing songs again, or you're going to start writing that memoir that you always wanted to write. Because why am I taking the time to do this? You know, all this stuff that I do is symbolic. I just go with the energy. Let's see. I can't remember what it was. And I feel like that's part of the message. It's like I can't remember. Like I can't remember my own song. And that's part of that like soul. It's like bringing back parts of your soul again. It's like I literally this is a full book of songs. Like I've written music literally my whole life. But over the past few years, I've really had a hard time. I'm just going to be honest with you guys. I've really had a hard time grounding myself and coming into a state of peace where I can actually enjoy my craft again, right? Because when you're dealing with like so many hard things in your life, you know, family members, exes, like crazy stuff, right? That it just keeps rearing its ugly head again and again and again. And the second you start feeling like yourself again, it feels like, I'm seeing the Tower card, it feels like somebody just comes and knocks it down all over again. It's like you just built up this beautiful structure and then somebody comes and slams it down on purpose, right? I know a lot of us understand that feeling and it can be very frustrating, but what we're doing by strengthening this skill, and it is a skill and it does have to be practiced and it does have to be learned and it does have to become something that is perfected over time, which is the skill of grounding, as well as being able to come into this place of peace once we have grounded. But we can't have peace unless we're grounded. Because if you're in a state, I'll speak for myself as well, trigger warning, if you're in a state where you feel like anxious, scared, PTSD symptoms, right? You know, like some of us deal with really, really hard, like panic attacks, like I do. And it can be almost impossible to find a state of peace when this is going on. Because it's not just mental, it's in the body. You know, like trauma, honk honk, can be trapped in the body, and anything can trigger that. Sometimes we don't even know what's triggering it. So part of the way, and I'm not a doctor, this is just my story, part of the way I've been able to get back pieces of myself again has literally been just every single time I feel like I lose myself again, I become hyper fixated, like we're doing with this reading, on finding it again. I know that sounds so simple, but it's like part of what I've been manifesting is to gather those fragmented pieces of my soul back so I can feel like myself again. I can feel whole again after everything that's happened, and maybe some of you relate to that. And for some, it could have also something to do with times of prayer, meditation. See the stained glass window? Maybe part of this Page of Pentacles starting way off in November of 2024 all the way to March of 2025. Maybe part of that is learning more about spirituality and what you believe in and becoming more devout to that. So that when the winds blow and the storms come and they beat against that house, the house stands. That's a parable that Jesus spoke about. He said, don't build your house, don't build your life on sand, because when those storms come, it's going to take your house down. But if you build it on a solid rock, which for a lot of us is a sense of self and our beliefs, when you build it on something solid, it doesn't matter what sort of storms come your way. The King of Cups, he is able to keep his cool, to stay solid through the storm, no matter what. Oh, and sometimes in the high vibe of the King of Cups, I see him as a Poseidon energy. We got off track with that. I was looking for my lyrics about Poseidon. Basically, I just had a time that I worked with Poseidon, and that was the point of it, where I even wrote a song about him, because it was just such a powerful energy that he can literally move the waves and the storms of the sea with his power, right? And so some of you might be drawn to work with Poseidon or those like him that work with the waters. Like if you feel like you need to gain control over your emotions and become more emotionally strong and immovable in the storm, so that you don't fold. You're able to sit strongly even when the winds come and blow like against your house. The house stands. And part of that could be with spiritual beliefs. Another part of this that's coming through, because I often see the Four of Swords for me, especially when we have like the Six of Cups here and stuff, which can be past people. It can be putting up a boundary against people that we don't want to talk to from our past, setting boundaries, blocking in some cases here, silence, or gray rocking if you can't get away from some people. And gray rocking is basically just treating the conversation with the person very minimal, like keeping it about like the weather, instead of getting into like the depths of your emotions with somebody that you know is just going to twist those and use them to manipulate you. Don't bother with people like that. What do? We gray rock them. And if we can get away from them, better. But if we can't and we're stuck in situations like we went back to at the start, if you're in contracts, if you're living with this person, if you can't just leave, then the next best thing, first of all, everything we just talked about, grounding, so that you're not so anxious anymore, focusing on your manifestations, right? Bringing back past parts of yourself that you feel have died. Once you do all of that, it's going to feel almost like if these people start to come back around, not only are they not going to recognize you because you're a different person, because you've spiritually ascended, or really you've just connected with parts of yourself that you got disconnected from. Not only are they not going to recognize you, you're not going to even recognize them. So it's like you're at different frequencies. So even if you kind of try to get back with your ex, or you try to go out to dinner with your mom that you know is kind of like emotionally manipulative, right? Even if you want to, it's almost like the pieces just fall apart, like with the Two of Pentacles. It's like in this case, it's almost like things don't stay together, right? It's and that's for a divine purpose. That's because you're on different frequencies. These other people don't believe in agape love, which is unconditional, spiritual, godly love, which I believe is showcased in the Lover's card, right? So yeah, part of this piece might have to do with setting boundaries against certain people, right? Yeah. Jesus said, pray for your enemies. That's all we can do, right? But he didn't say you have to be near them, right? We can pray for them, and we can just let karma take the trash out. You don't have to have a vendetta against people. All that's going to do is keep you tethered to them, and they're going to pull you under that water like it's nothing. And then you're really going to feel unstable. Just let these people go. They're stopping your growth. They're getting in the way of change and transformation, and in the way of your manifestations. I'm seeing somebody put their foot inside of a door, and you're trying to close the door, and it's like it keeps hitting up against this boot. It's It's like one of those boots that have the steel toe. So it's like real loud. Like their toes are totally protected. And this person's just smiling, and I'm seeing you trying to close the door. They're unharmed. It's like they're not letting you close out the chapter because they know that once you do, you're going to move into a higher timeline that they cannot access. They're not going to be able to access it. The only way that they were able to even get close to it is because they were hooked into your aura. I put out a reading called Who or What is Hooking into My Aura. You might want to watch that one if you're resonating with this particular message. All right, so happy spring, everybody. Finally. Let's look at April of 2025, card number 6. We have the Tower. I knew I saw that Tower energy. Now, don't freak out. For some of you, going back to this, if you're starting to get more in alignment with who you really are, connecting pieces of yourself, your shadow side and everything, and you feel whole, and you start to realize, like, oh my God, all these people from my past are getting in the way of my peace. Or even these old habits and stuff like that, drinking, drugs, whatever, whatever it is for everybody here. No judgment. I've been through all that myself, right? This is not to judge people. This is to bring to light the stuff that we ourselves are wanting to manifest, right? So what I'm seeing here first off the bat with this Tower energy is once you start doing all that and you get healthy and stuff and you start feeling this sense of peace, and these people are texting you and blowing up your phone and knocking at your door, you're going to be like, oh my God, get that Tower energy away from me, because it's going to be so clear to you. Oh, it's going to be so clear who these people are. Just wipe it literally out of your skin, right? You might even have to extract this Tower energy from your skin. Feels good. They're nice and cold. Yeah, let's just extract all that out. I'm doing this to your face too. For some of you, you're not even gonna need Botox, because it's like all that life that these people tried to suck out of you, it's like it's gonna come back to you. But it was your energy to begin with. So I think that, interestingly, part of April of 2025, because I'm not seeing that this is a Tower for you. And I would be honest, and I might get a couple cards on this, to be really frank with you here. I would be honest, if the first instinct I got off of this was like, oh, the collective is going to have a hard time in April, I would just say it. I don't lie. I tell the truth on this channel. Like I said, I'm a realist. We deal with real events. We don't talk about fantasizing and oh, you're like, just whatever. You know what I'm saying? I don't like to give people false hope. I like to give real hope. What's really going on here, and how do we have access to it? I'm not here talking about to inflate your ego and all that crap, right? What I'm seeing on this Tower energy is this is people's energy that you have blocked the month before. And you don't have to wait until March and April to do this. You can start now. But what I'm seeing is this might just be part of like a transit that we're going through, and I don't know exactly what's happening at that time. I have to look into that further. Astrologers, let me know down below if you know what's going on March and April of 2025 that could be causing this. But basically what I'm seeing here is you're putting up boundaries, you're blocking people, you're closing them out of your life because you're working on yourself. And when you do that, they're going to explode like this Tower. Or another way to look at it is, even if they don't explode, it's like you're going to be able to see that this is their energy so clearly. Again, I'm seeing this Two of Pentacles. You're going to be able to dissect and separate their energy out from yours. I'm seeing something very sticky. I'm seeing you like imagine if these coins could be pulled off of this card, and we just pulled the coin off, and as I'm pulling it off, there's this string left behind, and it's all this glue. It's like I'm pulling the coin away, but all this string of glue. Very sticky. Ew. That's what I'm getting. It's like as you start to separate yourself from people, places, and things that no longer serve you because of this spiritual advancement that you've gone through and that you're currently going through now, but it's going to get deeper if you allow for it. What I'm seeing is you're going to see these people clear as day for who they really are and what they really are and what their energy is all about. They're a walking tower. And maybe before you couldn't see that because you had rose-colored glasses on. You're a kind-hearted person. You look at the world with agape love, right? So even if people literally show themselves to be emotionally and spiritually manipulative, it's like you're the type of person that still wants to see the best in people. And you know what? Even after everything I've been through, I still believe in that as well, right? Just don't be a fool. Be the fool. The person who takes risks on love. Even when you've been screwed over 100 times, you still believe in love, right? I'm not saying we should stop believing in love. In fact, I'm saying we might have to use that defibrillator to bring our hearts back to life, to even learn to love again, because we've been through so much. So there's some of that too, which could be this tower energy. It's like you put the defibrillator on the chest and it's like your heart comes to life again. Or the parts of you that had that more innocent sort of love, I should say, like we had back in childhood, can come back to life. Parts of us, and I'm going to say it again, I've said it a few times in this reading, parts of us that we feel have died will be able to come back to life again as we go through this practice of learning about ourselves and finding ourselves again, connecting with ourselves. All right, now before we go, I just want to get a couple cards on this tower just to make sure, just to see what we're dealing with here. Let me take a sip, and this will be our last one. Guess I didn't need clarifiers. It was like all channeled, so let's thank the guides and ancestors for coming through today. All right, the Tower, April 2025. What is this Tower, please? For some, it's literally a person. I had that King of Swords at the bottom of the deck, and to me, if you're looking for a narcissist or somebody who is, cold, calculating, emotionally manipulative, it would be the King of Swords. All right, what do we have here? Yeah, we have the Ten of Swords, and it fell right on top of the Four of Swords. So for some of you, this is a person who feels betrayed, and now they're lashing out. So make sure you put up those boundaries and keep them. Keep them. Be careful. Can I have another on this? Because see, look what's at the bottom of the deck. It's like that sticky, remember? It's like you pulled apart from this person, and now they're starting to realize, what happened to my supply? Yeah, look, I just opened up to the Emperor. This is a controlling person. I'm hearing domineering person. I just opened up to the Hermit. That would be the best advice here if you're dealing with a controlling person like this. Doesn't have to be a man either. It can be a woman for some. I'm seeing the best option here is just to pull back your energy completely from this person. Go like off the grid. Don't have them on your social media. You know what I'm saying? Some of you, this person is watching you from afar, from even like a fake account. Can I have more on the tower, please? I just keep hearing vendetta, vendetta, vendetta. So protect yourself spiritually and legally if you have to, and I'm not a lawyer. What is that quote? Something like a woman scorned. Like there's nothing like a woman scorned or something like that. This is like a crime of passion. Please be careful. This could be a past life. We have Pisces here with Scorpio, Ace of Swords. Something might come out about this person that they're like watching you. What is this tower in the month of April? Interesting. Once again, it fell right on top of the Four of Swords, the card where we talked about you having boundaries, you having standards, you waving goodbye to some of these people and focusing on yourself and your peace and your harmony and your happiness and your spiritual beliefs for some of you, getting more into your prayer life, your meditation and stuff. It's like that's all you're trying to do. This person's looking at it as a complete travesty. Their name could be Travis for some. Or at least one person. We have the Death card and the Page of Wands in the reverse. This person, this is how they're going to try to exhibit this vendetta. And this is all they can do. They're going to try to stop you from transforming any further, from finding peace any further with the Death card. Because in the upright, it can indicate a transformation. But in the reverse, it can indicate that you're not going through one, basically. But what I'm hearing very clearly is this person can't stop you. Because look, we started all the way here. I'm hearing, nothing can stop me. I'm all the way up. See, we started way back in November. And for some of us, we started years ago. This is just a 6-month spread, right, guys? But I'm just saying, this is a process, what's happening here. We can start this ball rolling at any time. I'm seeing you let go of this pentacle down the mountain, and I'm seeing it as a big boulder or a snowball effect or a domino effect, where it's like you start the ball rolling, you go through all this transformation like we talked about, you get healed enough to finally start. For some of you, you've already done this, but for those who haven't and are wanting to, you're starting to put up boundaries. When all of this happens is when stuff starts blowing up, right? So whenever you start putting up the boundaries, no matter what month you do it in, this is inevitable. And that's why we put up the boundaries to begin with, because we know these people are not going to be reasonable. That's why we have to put up boundaries against them, right? So what I'm seeing is they're going to try to stop you from transforming any further. They're going to try to stop you from getting away from them, basically. For some, they just don't want you to talk about them because you have, like, dirt on these people. So, closing words, please. Just on the full spread now. We got what this is about. For some, again, just to close on this tower, for some, this is just a dynamic energy. For some, this is like your manifestations taking off, and it's like shocking. It's like that emoji where the head is like, it's like mind-blowing, like how the crown is blowing off the top of this tower. It's like a mind-blowing, like, awesome event. Because for you, this is all lovely energy, right? It's only when we get involved with these weirdos that it gets funky. And also, this is both Scorpio energy that could be significant. We also have Sagittarius on the table. But I feel like this is more just talking about, like, ninth house themes with the Church coming in the Four of Swords. This is just, ninth house is, like, spirituality, philosophy, travel. For some, this could even be that you're traveling somewhere in April. Could be. It's like spring break time and stuff. Look, I just opened up to the Fool. Thought he would show up. We mentioned him a couple times where I talked about the toes going over the side of the cliff. I also said, don't be a fool, be the fool. Closing words on the entire 6 months, please, for everyone here. Thank you, everybody, for being here. Remember, you can always listen to this show on Spotify and Apple Podcasts if you want to listen. And you can always book a personal with me as well. If you want to get more details about your personal situation, info is down below. Yeah, for some, these people don't see this coming. Good. Don't show them what your plans are. If you're trying to separate from like family, or you're trying to separate from like a partner or like toxic people, don't reveal or expose your plans ahead of time, right? Closing words on the full 6 months for everyone here. Thank you, Spirit. I'm hearing Bon Voyage, and look, we have the Sun card coming out. What is this Sun? I mean, the Sun is the happiest card in the deck. Anytime we just focus on ourselves, remember what I said before earlier in the reading, what you focus on grows. So if we focus on self-growth, and that's the truth with the Ace of Swords, if we focus on finding peace, connecting with ourselves, that's how we win. That's how we're happy. So no matter what time frame you do this in, this really is a timeless message, the stuff we're talking about today. But this is just the energy available, and it could coincide with some of the astrology. This could also be talking about, we only went through April, but this could also be talking about Leo season, which would be like all the way to August. So this could be talking about further down the timeline, that as you're setting boundaries with these people and like walking away, you're only going to get happier and happier as the timeline moves forward. It could be just talking about Leo season, right? But what is the Sun? I wanted to make this a nice, juicy, long one today for everybody, so we can have something to chew on. And you can come back to this reading at any time. Look, the 10 of Cups flipped over. These are like two of the happiest cards in the deck, with the Lovers at the bottom of the deck. Some of you, like we said before, you might in January be meeting a soulmate that could be developing possibly through Leo season if you're looking for specific timing. We also have Gemini here, so this could be Gemini season as well. We have Taurus, Gemini. Those could be their placements or yours. Leo, Taurus, Gemini, Sagittarius, and Scorpio we have on the table here. How you'll know this person and meet this person is through shared spirituality. You don't have to believe the same thing, but you both believe in agape love, like we talked about. It's unconditional love, and that could be any religion. That could be any school of thought, right? It's just you believe in love above all things. That's how you'll meet this person. When you're on this path of self-growth and oneness with self, that's where you're going to meet this person, is what I'm getting for those who are looking for love. One more card on this. Yeah. All right, so these two cards are what came out. This can be communication, the 8 of Wands, and then we have this 2 of Pentacles again. So there's going to be a lot of consideration. There's going to be a lot of words, a lot of dynamic energy, and a lot of action surrounding everything that you're doing here. Your inner work, your soul searching, your healing, your progression, right? There's going to be a lot of this is also a card of manifestation as well. I put the Magician back in the tarot, but this is showing for you, this is a very good omen. This is showing that This is just energy of movement, that as you move in this direction, you can expect that this is how it's going to unfold for the most part. But I'm also seeing this Emperor. If you're looking for love, this could be this person. But I'm also going back to this person that you could have blocked, who's a controlling person. Yeah, who's just trying to talk negatively and start fights in the name of love, right? But it's not actually love, it's strategy with the Seven of Pentacles. And they've seen that you are healing. They've seen, Page of Swords, that you are healing with the Star. We have the Devil here. So for some of you, this is also this person from the beginning that we talked about. This could be an ex, like we talked about with that relationship stuff in the first 2 months. This person's still a devil. They're going to be a devil at the end of 2025, I'm getting as well. So good luck with that. For some of you, they have a lot to say, this toxic person, about how you've separated from them, right? Which makes sense. But you can just keep healing and growing and moving with the winds of change in the direction that you want to go, and be in control of your own life. We can always take the reins of our own life. And that's really this message at the end of the day. So I love you guys. Thank you so much for being here. It's been Missy Gordon, the Minimistic here, and I will see you on the next one.